was, I guess.
I mean, sometimes it just really depends.
Yeah. Or were you gonna go riot?
I mean, possibly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it just depends on the weather.
Okay. Are you bringing Kai with you? You should.
I mean, I'd like to.
Yeah. Don't let him know though.
I mean, we'll tell him later.
Oh,
hey.
Hi. How's it? Hey, aloha everyone, and welcome to the Ukulele on the Ground podcast. My name is Aldrine Guerrero. Joining me are Mr. Aaron the Voice Nakamura. Say what's up, Aaron.
What's up?
And Mr. Kahai the Legend Fergan. Say what's up, Kahai.
What's up?
Today, guest, boom, the real, bona fide, magic Mike Oda.
In costume.
The not AliExpress version.
in Mike Odo costume.
In Mike Oda costume. So, wow, it's like looking in a mirror. We color coordinated our clothes today.
Yes, we did.
You should let me know. I would have worn that exact shirt.
And that exact hat.
And those glasses. I think I have them in the car, actually. Yeah.
You wouldn't have even known who was who.
Welcome, everyone. This is the Aloha Friday Live. It's not even Aloha Friday Live Jam. It is Monday, 12 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. It's time for the Ukulele on the Ground podcast. What we do here is we talk. Yeah, right. We talk. We talk a lot. Okay.
About what?
You guys have questions. We have opinions about those questions. You put your questions either via email, via live chat, however we get them. Kahai is going to relay them over to me. I'll give you my 2 cents, and these guys will come up with their 2 cents, and then we will come up with the best 8 cent answer for you. It's a little more expensive today because we have a guest.
A little bit.
So
inflation is
inflation. I'm telling you, we're putting a tariff on these opinions. But don't worry. It's only going to cost us, right?
Yeah,
we're not gonna forward the cost to the consumer, right?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, because that's how they work.
Still free.
It doesn't. Welcome. So, Aaron, Mike, Kahai, what do you guys want to talk about?
A couple of weeks ago, you went over like holding your ukulele.
Yes.
And we actually had a couple people who asked, so what do you do if you're standing while holding an ukulele? Or what do you do if you're holding or playing a smaller ukulele?
Okay. If you're standing, don't. If you're playing a smaller ukulele, don't. Okay. Next question.
Just
get a real ukulele. Sit down, play a uke, and 2, get a real ukulele. So when you're standing, okay, it changes a little bit, but not by much. Okay, so I'm gonna move this. I'm gonna stand to kind of give you guys an idea. Okay, so I'm not gonna move the chair as to. So here we go. So when you're standing, remember I said down like this. Can I lift this up there?
Yeah.
Can you hear me better? Okay. So when you're standing, okay, you still want to have the ukulele slightly, kind of tilted up. You still want the middle, with the middle of your body like this. You still want to get that, that triangle. So if I look down, you see the triangle between my arm, my body, and the ukulele. There's this triangle going on, okay? And from the top, that looks like this, okay? So it's forward, not in, all right? Forward. That brings this side of the ukulele a little bit more in towards your body. And therefore, you still place the forearm where it should be and kind of pinch it in like this. You are going to hold it from this side though. So there's no way getting around not holding it on this side. So when you're holding it on this side, what you do is use the knuckle of your thumb, and then the knuckle, mainly this, you're gonna hold it between the big knuckle and the middle knuckle. So it's gonna be right there. So if you were to look, here's the big knuckle and here's the little knuckle, or the middle knuckle. So you're gonna hold it like that. So you're still doing the shake hand, kind of grip, but then notice, because I have that triangle, then it's not in. It allows me to kind of hold it a little bit, more stable. So it looks like this. So you can still get your chords in. Once again, the thumb is kind of holding it here. When you do bar chords, same rules apply. The thumb goes in the back. When you're holding 2 or more strings with the same finger, and then bringing the bring the thumb up. So my wrist, everything else is still, still straight. If you're having some issues, you can raise the ukulele a little bit and lower your grip here if you want to hook it in between your elbow. So that's also a way for you, for you to hold it, to keep it a little bit more stable. But everything else on the left side stays the same. You're still kind of holding it up, from there. I still get that shake hands, kind of grip. You're holding it between your. It's kind of tough to see. Let me put my sleeves up a little bit more. So see that where more of my elbow bends. So right there, this corner. I'm trying to get that corner with the elbow like this. So see how it's still slightly kind of curled up. So try not to play your ukulele straight like this. When you play your ukulele straight, that's when your wrist has to compensate for this angle. But if your ukulele is slightly tilted like that, then you're gonna get the right techniques on the right side and a little bit more freedom on the left side, because your wrist is gonna be a lot more loose, a lot more straight. And if this is too straight, if you're doing your chunk, for example, and you're trying to do this kind of twist, it's gonna be a lot more difficult. It can be done, but here, if you're doing that and you do the chunk, do the roll, and then do finger picking. So when you do finger picking, if it's straight like this, and I know a lot of you guys do it, like hold your ukuleles this way. So you have to lift this wrist to get the right angle on the ukulele, and that's where you have that. But watch, if I raise the angle a little bit, the wrist relaxes versus straight. That's gonna hurt you, because what you want is you want a 90-degree angle with your pointer and middle finger, and a 45-degree angle with your thumb. If you're trying to do this, if you don't get that, then you would be kind of playing your ukulele like that and not getting a good attack on the strings if you're trying to do it straight, or you're gonna either do that or lift up your wrist. So getting that angle is very important. Once again, strum still in the same place right here, the sweet spot for strumming, and then all your techniques basically stay the same. So here's the roll, here's the finger picking, straight wrist. Okay, this is good form standing up. Now, if you're holding a smaller ukulele, it's the same thing. The size is not gonna affect. So for example, once again, lower bout on my right leg, middle of the ukulele, which is where the neck meets the body, in line with the middle of my body. Pointer finger pointing to the sweet spot. Forearm, then our elbow goes back. Forearm stays there. It's still, ukulele is still forward and not in. I don't want dinosaur arms. So forward. I'm still finger picking in this area. I'm still strumming in this area.
But where the body of the ukulele is touching your forearm, it's closer to your wrist.
Yes, it's closer to your wrist, because that's I guess a difference in in the size. So it's because you're kind of compensating for the for the size of the body, but it doesn't change anything else other than that. That's the only thing that it'll change. You're still holding it the same exact way, but then the placement where that corner that I talked about last week. So once again, lower bout, right leg, bring it up all the way against the body, move it about an inch or two forward wherever you're comfortable, then lean the top part towards your body so that it lifts up that corner. So I'll show it to you from this angle. If you're just bringing it in against your body like that, the corner is kind of this 90-degree angle I guess 90-degree angle that goes towards that way. Okay, but if you bring it out and you lift it up, that, you know, that corner kind of faces up instead of forward, right? And that's, take your pointer finger, place your, you know, pointer finger there, because that's where you're strumming. Then bring your elbow back and then rest that forearm right there. You'll get a downward pressure that holds it, you know, with your leg, and an inward pressure that holds it against your body. So you can do, and that allows you to kind of hold your ukulele and not have to worry about, you know, the left side. When you're standing up, same thing with the small ukulele. Pointer finger there, like corner. But since it's a smaller ukulele, it, you know, like you can kind of get away with doing it like more here, but notice it's still like slightly high, so that I can get a nice angle rather than it being straight. Just don't strum. I see a lot of people strumming straight like this, but then when you strum straight, your hand has to like make up for that angle. Yeah, so your wrist has to make up for that angle, especially when you're doing finger picking, and that's when you start to get this, and that's like really bad for you. Or so when you do this, say for example, you're putting it here, and you're trying to like, you know, do finger picking, then you're doing this, like kind of almost like playing bass, you know. Or you're jutting your wrist out like this much to get the right angle. But instead, you know, go up.
Yeah, I think a lot of times we see people and then they feel like they're following everything that you say to, and then when we see them, we can tell like really quickly like, oh, you're kind of trying to compensate though by either like twisting your wrist or jutting out your wrist, or like your elbow is actually like outstretched more than it needs to be. You can pull it in and bring it in. So it's like
my elbow's always like kind of relaxed in like this rather than it being out like that. So the reason like in, so you'll see my elbow in, and a lot of the videos they're kind of here, right, rather than out there. And it's almost like you can tell, because if it's out here, then that means the ukulele is also like, you know, like straightforward like this. I see a lot of people do that. And I don't know if it's like, you know, if it's just because they assume like that's how it should be, like, you know, straight, like with your backs.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, a couple
sitting
ones
up straight on your
a couple ones I see all the time is people think the angle, the triangle angle thing, that's a big one.
Yeah.
I think people just assume that the ukulele is flat, so they should be flat against them.
Yeah.
But then their arm looks like it's just being cocked for like a Karate Kid punch the whole time, you know. And it's just the thing I tell people a lot is move the instrument around you. Don't you move around the instrument.
Yeah.
You know, it's always better to do it that way.
I think people don't realize that they're like kind of holding their elbow out or making their wrist jut out too. So we've told people like try it in front of a mirror, but even better if you can play and record yourself like your playing position, because then that way and try and see like, you know, be critical of like, oh, I am like jutting my wrist out more than I probably should. If you look at you playing, is like your wrist should pretty much be straight like most of the time. Your elbow should be like tucked in. You should look pretty comfortable, not like you're kind of straining or like Mike said, you're moving your body around the ukulele.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, all right, next question. I answered that kind of quick because that's like one of the most common things. Like when somebody comes in for a private lesson or, you know, for like a tech check or anything like that, that's like the number one thing that I'll notice, that like a lot of the problems that people have are like, oh, I can't play this chord, or I can't do this technique, or I can't strum, or I can't, you know, whatever. A lot of those problems stem from just not holding the ukulele like that efficiently. I'm not saying it's like wrong, you know, but there is a more efficient way to hold it. I'm aware that like some people hold it like that, but a lot of people, you know, hold it that way because I don't know, either build or just from like coming from another instrument. You know, I see a lot of guitar players will try to like approach it the same way that they approach guitar, but it's just not, you know, not the same instrument. It's like two completely different instruments. So I feel like I have some authority to talk about because I'm a guitar player also, you know. So and I know how I hold my guitar versus how I hold my ukulele, and it is two different things.
Yeah. Me and Aaron were talking about it too, and it's like kind of like you should try to hold it properly, and I feel like you should try and hold it sitting down first, not standing up and not with a strap or anything, just sitting down with it on your lap.
Yes.
So you can understand like how to support it naturally, and then it's like you just play as much as you can like that.
Yeah.
And then whether, because I feel like growing up, we weren't told like, okay, now everybody, when you stand up, you have to change the position of your arm to be able to support it. It's like, we're so used to just like carrying around the ukes and playing it wherever.
Yeah.
And like just playing it as much as we can, that you just like, okay, whether I'm standing, whether I'm kneeling, whether I'm like in a good chair or a bad chair, is like you just adapt to. It's like, okay, I know how to support it and hold it whatever situation I'm in.
But just try to aim for comfort. I mean, if like you feel uncomfortable if you're holding it inefficiently, you know. And I actually did not start using straps until I got like my kanilea ukulele, like my first like Mary Jane custom kanilea ukulele, and the reason why is because, you know, with the pickup inside, with the battery, and then like I think my first kanilea uke had the really like heavy tuners on you know at the top. So I opted for, and I was getting older as well, you know. But if you watch like early videos of you know, of me playing, I had like my kamaka and playing like no strap.
Even the Ovation.
Yeah, even Ovation. No strap. I was just, you know, like.
Or there's like an applause ukulele with a rounded back.
Yeah,
like, that doesn't make sense.
I don't
like,
know how it, but you know, but that's. So take it from a guy who started using straps kind of late in his career. So
you can figure out a way to hold pretty much any ukulele. Yeah, even that fluke, I don't have a strap for it. I'd never had
weird,
one.
So you gotta take it from this side, because it's like.
But I don't even think about it. I think, and it's a rounded back, like a plastic back, so it's slippery and rounded.
Like the Ovation.
But the Ovation was heavy.
Yeah,
Ovations are heavy.
The fluke is pretty light.
I want to put this out there. My Ovation is out of commission now. Yeah. If anyone is selling an Ovation tenor, no, it's an applause.
Yeah.
A tenor applause ukulele, I might be interested. Yeah. I'm just saying.
With working electronics.
Yeah, with working. It has to be with working electronics.
Oh, that's gonna narrow it down.
I don't even care like how, you know, like how beat up it is and stuff. Like I just want a working OP24 plus applause tenor ukulele, just for funsies, just because I don't have one anymore, and like the one that I have, it broke. The back is gone, you know, like it's. But I use it for like my garage, and because like I left it in the garage, also like the wood is kind of like going, but the electronics are gone for like a long time,
right?
You know? But I don't kind of miss it, and back in the day, they were selling for like $300. So,
yeah.
You know,
you can't even beat it. Like, I mean,
I'll pay you the original price of $300 for that tenor ukulele. But it's like it's you can't, like, it's so hard to be like, if you're an aspiring ukulele player that wanted to play on stage, like an aspiring professional ukulele player, that was like the best bang for your buck back in the day, you know. And I had two. Okay, I gave one to my friend. Jason Joy. Like I gave him the black one that I played with a lot, but the yellow one or the spruce one that I played with for most of my career, that's like I have that one at home, you know, with all the with all the stickers on it and stuff, you know, like it was nice, but that, like, the electronics have gone. So
well, the interesting part about anything Ovation applause is because they're built like that. Like, the bodies will outlast those electronics by so long. But because like the way the bodies are built, it's so hard to replace any of it. You know? Because I look at I remember people would bring into our store, like, old Ovations that was, like, the only access you had was the sound hole. That was it.
Really? And there were tiny, like, sound holes at the top, or like
no, just the one, like a regular guitar.
Okay, because
that gave you
some
something.
Ovations don't have
The ones with the little sound holes,
Yeah.
thankfully, they're
In the
later,
back, right?
and then there's one big plate on
Yeah,
the back you
yeah,
can take
yeah.
off.
Yeah.
That actually was not too bad.
Yeah.
But when people bring in like really old, like 80s, 70s Ovations,
Yeah, they were like a one-piece back.
it's a one-piece back. And what we figured out was how they glue that back onto the front. They use like aircraft level glue, which means that, you know, with a lot of and most good instruments like this, like the glue they use here, you get some heat and moisture,
Yeah.
you can pull the whole thing apart.
Yeah.
That's what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, that sucker's not going anywhere.
The Ovation, it's like it is there, which means that if you try and get that top off that back, you'll probably just destroy the top.
Yeah.
Which probably similar to your flute too. You know, like releasing the wood top from that back.
Yeah.
Probably is pretty difficult.
Yeah, I forget. I was talking with Dale Webb, the creator, and I forget what type of. I don't know if he has a proprietary blend now that he uses, but yeah, he has a specific type of glue that he uses.
But that can take apart now, right?
Yeah, I sent it to him and he repaired it. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, it's the old Ovations. Their glue is like pretty much bulletproof.
I just I like replaced the strings on my sister's Ovation, and it's like the action is so high on this. Like, what is up with that? And it's like the first time I learned that Ovation sends their guitars with shims under the bridge specifically.
Yeah.
And then it's the idea, right? Is that wherever it goes, you just remove it because they expect like that. It's just
Yeah,
like
you can do that.
Yeah, that's, you know, with when I first got my Ovation, like the yellow one or the spruce one, like it was super hard to play. But then like after changing strings, it was like due to an accident. After changing strings, the bridge like came off.
Yeah.
And I thought I broke it. And I forgot to put one of the shims back. And when I put it on, I'm like, whoa, these strings are great. Like, I don't know what kind of strings I bought and stuff, but like they feel awesome, you know?
Was it the whole the bridge saddle? You mean?
Yeah, the saddle.
Okay.
The saddle. Yeah, the underneath the saddle is a shim there, right? So
Yeah.
one of them came off, and then like when, you know, I'm like, oh no, or like the saddle came off and the shim came off as
Right.
well with it, like, while I was changing, because you know the thing is in the back, you know, battery's in the back. So I think I changed battery and I tried to like I flipped it this way, the whole saddle came off because
there are no strings on it.
Or either that, I mean, I'm trying to remember how I did it, like, because it was definitely an accident. Either that, or I was like trying to polish it because all the strings were off. I was trying to wiped it down, and I did that, and then it came off, you know. But anyway, like I put it back on, and I forgot one of the shims, or I saw the shim, and I'm like, this doesn't look like it belongs on the ukulele. It might be like something else, you know? And then I put it on, I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is a completely different
So much
instrument to
easier.
play.
These strings are great.
that kind of tells you what their idea is, though, right? Where it's like the one piece that can maybe be changed because of like the humidity or wherever you are, we're gonna make it so you can adjust it when it gets to you.
Yeah.
But everything else is built like a tank, so you shouldn't touch it at all.
Yeah,
It's just like
you gotta clean the one piece, guy.
Yeah,
you gotta take the one piece, and then you're all good. Yeah.
Those are my friend Tom, who I used to work with, guitar repairman. Every time somebody walked in there with innovation, you could always just see his face go.
Rest in peace, Tom. Rest in peace.
Because the original engineers, were they in aircraft
I
manufacturing
think partially.
or something?
The people who designed the back plate,
Yeah.
I think they were in some. That's why they got the and anybody who's ever worked on Ovation will tell you, like, it's built like a tank. It's meant to be like, yeah, you're probably never going to take this into the repair guy because it's not going to warp on you and it's not going to do any of these things.
Yeah.
Because holy smokes, that thing has got like
you said,
2x4s bracing it.
Yeah.
Like you said,
I
like
ran mine over with my car
Ovation.
in high school.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You have applause, right?
I had I think it was an Ovation, but
Yeah.
it wasn't an expensive one. But yeah, all of the strings broke because it bent that much.
Yeah.
But the
the
Ovation
guitar
itself,
itself,
I strung it up and I played music that night with it. Yeah.
Didn't you say you like sold it and then you found it again? Like you found the person who bought it and was like playing it again and is like,
No,
oh
I
my
don't know.
gosh,
I don't
what is this
remember.
thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it's like, or I think you're playing a gig or something, and you saw that, and it's like, I remember like that. I know that's my Ovation because I ran it over with the car.
I can see the tire track.
Putting it out there. If anyone has one, if it's just like collecting dust, Aldrine Guerrero's looking for one. Just for my collection. It's a collection thing, you know. Like I do
think
want
Imua
to
still plays with his.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
same one, same
yeah.
spruce one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say because like the PE Pickers did a video on High Session, and it's like, oh, this is cool, and I saw Mua playing it. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah,
This is a trip.
And if people are like, oh, what's so special? It's like, I just want because I don't have one. So
I guess you'll
don't
find-
look too far into it. Yeah.
Is he still using it? I guess you'll find out next month. See which one he brings.
Right.
Yeah.
I think he still uses that.
Yeah.
Like, that's what he
We'll see him
records and
next
all that.
month.
That's right. We're opening up for PE Pickers if anyone didn't know.
That's crazy.
Just saying.
That does.
Oh, no big deal. Just
I'm just trying to throw some shine
yeah.
there.
Okay. Cool. Sounds good. Sounds good.
But-
all right. Next question, Kai.
Okay, sure. So this one is Josh, and Josh said, "Is it best to fingerpick over the sound hole?"
Yes.
Yeah.
Next question.
Why?
Oh, it doesn't have to be directly over the
Yeah.
sound hole, but
Okay, a few reasons. Now, why? When you're picking, you're trying to, when you're finger picking, right? You're trying to highlight an individual string, okay? So when you're trying to highlight one string, it is best if the tension is a little bit higher. So think about the ukulele, the nut and the saddle right here. 12th fret is the exact middle of between the nut and the saddle, all right? So the further that you go towards the middle, the more like lower the tension is going to be. The closer that you get to the saddle, the higher the tension is going to be. But you don't want the tension to be too high, or else it sounds like this. Okay, so you want a little bit high tension, and the reason why is because the higher the tension, the better the attack. You want the response of that string to respond as soon as as your flesh or nail leaves the string. When it's here, it's a little bit less. The tension is a little bit less, so therefore it's not as responsive. It's still going to be responsive. Don't get me wrong. You're like, oh, I can't hear the difference. And if you can, it's fine. But the attack is better here, okay? Because of the higher tension. And that's why professionals who do picking and all that stuff opt for high tension strings, because they want the response to, to picking that much better. So when you're finger picking, finger picking over the sound hole, there's slight difference, okay? And the other, reason why I don't do it is because I don't necessarily like the fingers touching the fretboard. It makes for extra noise that as a recording artist, I know it sounds super fancy. As a recording artist, I just don't want to hear, and I want to dig into the string. So if I'm doing finger picking like this and I'm trying to dig in, I can't, because that is as much as it's going to allow me to do so. But if I'm picking over the sound hole, see how much of a difference I can dig into the string with my flesh. So my flesh goes in, goes out with the nail. Here I can only dig in with my skin so much until it touches there already. So big difference, so if you're looking for good tone, if you're looking for good high tension, finger picking almost always over the sound hole.
yeah, or
Always.
or
This is
regular
go always,
regular
yeah.
picking, right?
Regular picking, yeah, regular picking and finger picking over here. Strumming here. Why is the strumming there? Because the tension is lower. So because you're trying to strike all the strings, you don't want the string tension to be high, because you want to go through all 4 strings, and you want them to kind of vibrate nicely together. Okay.
You also don't want to necessarily like if you're strumming over the sound hole, you can dig in, but you don't want to dig in.
Yeah, no.
So that makes it, that spot is perfect because it'll physically stop you from digging in.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, and and a lot of people are like, oh, my fingers are getting stuck in whatever in between the strings when I strum. That's because you're supposed to strum here. They're not gonna get stuck. Because like the problem when finger picking is actually an advantage in strumming. When you're strumming, you don't want to to have that much. You don't want to dig in that much. So this is fine. Oh, I just did a pinch harmonic there. But if you're strumming here, if you're digging in, that's gonna be tough on your fingers. So that's probably why a lot of your fingers hurt, especially as a beginner, because you're thinking you're supposed to strum over the sound hole, but no, you're supposed to strum here, and then pick here, strum here. So your pointer finger, and then if you're not strumming properly, if you're doing this kind of like robotic arm chop thing, then even more so, then like your fingers are gonna get stuck. Yeah, within the strings. You should point yourself down to the ground. That allows your nail to kind of glide through the strings here. And because of the shallow, depth of the strings when it's up here rather than here, it's kind of deep. Yeah, it goes all the way in. So here you can strum, you can dig in as much as you want. You're not going to get your fingers stuck, and your finger's not going to hurt.
That's also the misconception with a lot of beginners is like, I need to dig in more because I'm not loud enough. And it's like your volume is probably due to other things, not necessarily how far you're digging in. So I think related to this is like Uking Lady asks, what about a D-shaped sound hole? So like finger picking over a D-shaped hole.
I mean,
the position is
exactly the same. Now you're getting like, what about this one?
Yeah.
Like it's the same thing.
What he's talking about is not about the hole. It's actually about the strings.
Yeah,
themselves.
the strings, like where the strings are. So like over the sound hole is right here. Okay, so if you have a D-shaped sound hole, it's still gonna be right here. So that the positioning is just based on like where the end of the frets when your fret board is over the body. Okay, a lot of times ukuleles go like to about right here, like the fretboards, like especially mostly sopranos, like they go up here. So sopranos, you want to strum about like right there. You don't want to strum here because your fingers are gonna get caught in the neck, but about here. Because there's still a little bit of bit of the fretboard, right? Even if it stops at the 12th fret, a little bit of fretboard goes over. That's where you wanna aim for strumming. So D-shaped sound holes, still here's a fretboard over the fretboard right there.
Yeah. And I think it applies the same to where because maybe she's thinking that you can dig in deeper if the hole is there, but it doesn't matter.
It's still deep.
Yeah, the difference between where the fretboard is and where the fretboard is not is like enough for you to dig in.
Because watch, okay, let's do it. So I'm on the fretboard. I'm not like digging in the sound hole or whatever. So I'm on the fretboard, and that's how much it's gonna hurt my finger.
Soundboard and fretboard.
Yeah, so soundboard, not fretboard. Say I'm on the soundboard like that. Not over the hole, right? And this is how much it digs into my finger. Whereas here, this is how much it digs into
just
my
the fingertip.
It's just a fingertip, right? Rather than here. So, but you just wanted to like let people know that I have D shapes. I have a D sound hole ukulele from Kanilea that cost me this much. Just putting it out there if anybody was interested. That's the kind of ukulele that I have.
So she said,
congratulations, by the way. It's a nice uke.
Yeah, she said it's about finger picking, and it's like same thing with finger picking. You just pick over the same spot, and it's like even if it's like we're talking about Ovation where it has no sound hole, or there's like a sound port on the side, there's no sound hole. It's like you can kind of picture where it should be, right? Like, and it's always gonna be the same.
Yep. Okay, next question.
So Tim said, so you have your best sounding one-of-a-kind Kanilea ukulele that came to you low G. Have you tried it high G? Do you think it would still be your best sounding uk in high G?
I have tried it with a high G. It sounds good.
I think.
Wait, I thought it came
originally.
I
came
I've tried it with a high G though. I tried it with
I thought you got it as a high G, like when you originally got it.
Or was it low G?
I actually did. I think.
Because I kind of remember you.
Which one are we talking about?
No, I did. That's right. I
Spruce
did
Stone?
get
Yeah.
it as a high G. No, the natural,
Ola Ka Aina.
Oh, okay.
I did get it as a high G.
Because there was like Aquila strings or something right,
Yeah.
on it.
And
And you
that's
brought
right.
it into the office, and we were like, "Oh, this is really good." And I remember you saying, "I think I'm gonna switch it to a low G, though."
That's right. So it still sounded good because, like, recounting that story, I was still in my car, like playing, like playing it for like a good like half an hour, waiting for for my flight to
Like,
kind of come.
as soon as you got it.
yeah,
you
I
were-
was like, let me try this out. I'm like, oh snap! Like, this
Yeah,
sounds
you got to be more specific. He has more than one of a kind.
no,
This
but-
guy.
because we talked about it recently, so I know exactly
Yeah,
what you're talking about.
yeah.
It's the Ola Ka Aina ukulele that only a few of us got, and like there's no bells and whistles. It's just like your natural finish, like K1 tenor ukulele.
Yeah, with
But,
like, a
like, for-
lasered in.
I don't know if like
Maybe just removing that little bit of
yeah, I think
change
so.
the resonant of the top. and-
Yeah.
it was so good. It was so good. Like that's true because Aaron mentioned that like some of the like the tattoo ones, like
Yeah,
because
some of them sound
it's the
pretty
same
good.
finish as
Right.
a tattoo one, and the tattoo inlay was burnt, so it kind of reduced some of that some of that thickness at the top, and that sounded good too. So,
Yeah.
and that might be a
Yeah,
factor.
and then Kanilea started doing the lasered on the inside.
yeah.
So that might be
On the inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just announced, I
Underneath,
think,
so.
this year that they've been
Is
playing
that just to
around
reduce
with,
weight from the
Yes.
inside? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
yeah,
Interesting.
possibly on the inside of the top. So
Yeah.
it could be they're trying to do
Yeah,
the
with the
same
same-
thing
Same
without
kind
the
of, like,
design.
triangles, like the triangle
Yeah.
design like this, but it's like on the sound, like on a soundboard on the other side.
On the inside of
interesting
it,
enough
yeah.
weight, yeah.
Yeah.
I think, but that Ola Ka Aina had the original, what is it, like, not triangles, the circle
Yeah,
ones, right?
yeah, yeah.
And I think Brother Sam even said that, like, Joe called those, like,
The sound monsters.
Sound monsters, yeah. So it really, and when we went to Ukulele Holly and we played Jody's one, I think that might have been a high G too, not a low G necessarily, but even that was
sounded
like, I think we all played it and we're like, this is the same one, right? It's like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
and
just something
because he plays it a lot, it's even better.
Broken in,
Yeah.
and, yeah.
I guess the same thing. I play that like when I'm at home, That's my main ukulele at home, and it sounds good. You haven't heard that one?
No, I have. I have.
Oh, yeah,
I read
okay,
that.
okay. That one is poof. Like you're gonna have to pry that off my dead hands. I was telling Kanio, I was like, I guess if I ever go that one, since like it has your your title that you suggested, like that, you can have that one. So that one goes to Kanio when I die.
Yeah. I think, but like, there are ukuleles that it's like, you can kind of feel like, oh, this feels like it would sound really good with like a low G or a high G.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, if a ukulele is good, it's going to be good with both too.
Yeah.
And you can just like, it's like, oh, this is such a
Yeah.
good ukulele.
But it does sound better with the low G. If like that's what you're if that's what you're asking, like does it sound good also with the high G? Yes. But does it sound better with the low G? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the low G just brings out like the high points of that ukulele, which is like this kind of really big mellow sound. Like I know that sounds like a contradicting statement, like big mellow, but that's like the best way I can describe that ukulele. It's got a big yet mellow sound.
No, I mean there are definitely ukuleles I think that like work either way. Like, but like as an example, if you think about three that I work with, like I have always thought, even though they sound good with low Gs, I have always thought Kamakas are better with the high G. You know what I mean? Because it's that traditional sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Kanileas can go either way. They have that more modern sound with a little bit more of that low end on them.
Yeah.
And then we also do island ukuleles at my store, Raven Reposos. Yeah. And almost 100%. I mean, Sopranos in concerts could do either one. Sopranos should definitely be high G, I think, for his. Concerts could, but his tenors almost to low G all the way for his. Because for whatever reason, the way he builds it is when you put the low G, it makes that top vibrate and get a completely different sound than if you have a high G on it.
That's my opinion on Koalohas. Like, cause koalohas, like when I put a high G on a koaloha, then it just like the brightness like just gets too overpowering. But if you play a koaloha with a low G, which like a lot of the koaloha artists use low G anyway. Like back when Britney was a koaloha artist, she had a low G. That sounded really good. When Herb Otto was was an artist for koaloha, he had a low G. So it almost had that kind of that's signature sound, where like it has the brightness, but then the low G gives it that body that it needed, because it's a very bright instrument. And I think on the first Pure Heart album, there was a song that was like, and it says like exclusively played on a koaloha ukulele, and that sounded like you could tell. That was a koala ukulele because of the brightness of that uke.
I think it's also, I mean, we got to point out that it's like it is personal preference for the player.
Of course.
And I think also like there's players who can make like what I would not consider a combination of ukulele and string, low or high G, and then they play it and it's like, how did you make that sound good? It's like you can play it in such a, the one I'm thinking of is like Ota-san and low G's on sopranos specifically.
Martins, man, that's where I got, because I have a vintage Martin. And I'm like, I'm gonna go Ota-san style and go with a low G, and it's like, oh yeah, that's like what it's. So it's got that that vintage, like really deep kind of sound to it already. So when you put a low G in it, it highlights that low sound, and then you match it with like the the rest of the strings. The brightness comes out of this like really like bottom end.
A low G, you say?
Yeah.
Being someone who also owns a vintage Martin soprano, which one did you put on it?
I don't remember. I think just basic like GHS, because it was a long time ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I think with Ota-san, it is like that kind of aluminum wound low G.
Yeah.
But I guess if Peace were to give us another box of strings, like maybe
Try
I can
out.
be convinced to swap it out. Which,
Yeah.
by the way, like I'm trying to convince Peace. So I've gotten in contact with Peace, our friend from Korea, who made those strings. He has agreed to come to the podcast. We are like deciding on a day. He is a little nervous about his English, but I'm trying to reassure him that it'll be okay.
Yeah.
But it's a bit of an entrapment, because I'm just gonna be like, hey, so what? So can I have more? Are you gonna tell my audience that you're not gonna give us any more strings?
You should tell Peace.
We can work out something with Worth or something.
Exclusive distributorship in the United States. UkuleleUnderground.shop.
Shot that. Oh, okay. Okay. Like showing our hand. You're like, so we're playing poker here, and Mike's coming around like, oh, that's a pretty good hand, Aldrine. Oh, look at those 2 aces that you got. Whoa,
5 aces. Whoa, so
Here,
cool.
How'd you get 6 aces in a 5-card hand?
just showing our hand.
I don't even know what is that symbol?
That robot thing in your sleeve. Oh, so cool.
Easy, Mike, with the revelations, Mister.
Easy,
It's a
Gambit.
magician X over here.
You should tell Peace though. It's like if he's worried about his English, it's like, don't worry, our English is not that great either.
No worries, guys.
Yeah.
Do the whole podcast in pigeon, just make it worse.
Just do 'em.
We've been trying to get our English to be okay, but it is not that great.
If all else fails, we have a resident Korean speaker in Aaron, the voice now for us.
No,
So,
not at all. We have that in Google Translate or Papago.
So he has agreed to come to the podcast. He's actually excited, but he's a little nervous. But we got to make him feel welcome so that we can hit him with those questions. Like, hey, so what? 2 more boxes or what?
What, bro? Can.
I can. A couple boxes.
For the boys.
Nah, if you're gonna bring 2, you might as well make them like, I don't know, 3, 5. Okay. If you're gonna pay that much, for send 1 box, you might as well fill the box, bro. Just put a couple kimchi inside too, you know? You know what I mean? It's like,
Mike said the magic words. He said "for the boys."
For the
How
boys,
do
for
you
the
say that in Korean? Can
How
you
do
translate
for the boys?
I wouldn't know. What would it be?
We gotta-
the equivalent?
we gotta study up.
The most important, the most funny thing would be if you Google translated that.
Yeah,
it would still have the
literal.
same meaning to people. Yeah.
For the boys, for the boys. Why you could put a couple?
Because here we know what that
inside
means.
too.
You know, for the
Yeah.
boys, do something for the boys.
Couple of cayenne, like
Imagine-
honey butter almonds, you know, whatever. You just no
Yeah.
big deal, you know. Couple
Yeah.
skincare products.
So then the
maybe in
Google
that
Translate will
box.
come out as like, I will give, if you give me 3 boxes of strings, I will give you boys. No, that's not
Watch
what
that
it
box come. No, just joking. Just joking.
I will
have to
trade
say
you
that.
small children for these strings. Nope, that's not what it meant.
I've heard of these men who do. You live on the island that has them, right?
Yes.
I guess we could export it.
There's a whole school out of them on the west side.
The Menehus.
I thought we were gonna get in trouble when at first you said like if you to play a smaller ukulele, just don't, or just, like, play standing up,
Dude,
just don't.
where's the cancellation? I feel like we're still on. Like we're still waiting for the
Treading that line.
treading that line, buddy.
Oh my gosh.
Like no.
Our internet is
Drink
trying to
gross.
cancel us.
I don't drink, bro. He says the wildest stuff.
Kids say the darnest things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, next.
We do have one more question for you, I think, but I just want to point out or say we should also get in some answer in 5s if we can for Mike.
Okay,
right?
all right, okay. Answer in hashtag, answer in 5. So go ahead.
Well, this isn't an answer in 5.
Okay. So right now, so if you want an answer in 5, put hashtag answer in 5. You can ask us anything. Anything. Like, Mike, what do you think about the presidential election?
Probably
Don't,
not.
don't.
But Mike,
don't.
but also, yeah,
I'm glad I live Kauai.
Don't.
yeah. But also, even if it's not an answer in 5, like we have Mike here, so you might as well ask your music
Yeah,
theory
music
questions.
theory questions.
I kind of feel like, yeah, you should do music theory questions in 5.
Yeah, so yeah, that's a challenge. It's a challenge.
But if you specifically want an answer in 5, then
Yeah, go ahead.
do that.
Okay, next question.
This is from Carl, and he said,
It's Carl.
Hey, Carl.
Yeah.
most strumming is done with the index, but I'm wondering, Aldrine commonly does up strums with his thumbnail. I see him do this routinely while playing certain songs.
Yeah. If I'm doing like a roll, for example, the full roll is actually the thumb flicking up and then doing the roll down. So that's when I would do so. Or if I want more volume, then I do the hold, which is like handing a business card to somebody. So you imagine you're picking up a business card and you're giving it to somebody. That's the kind of X hold that I have. So the down strum is with the nail, up strum is with the is with the nail with the thumb. So I do strum with the thumb, but I don't strum like this, with the thumb. That's not what that's something I don't do unless if I'm just like if I'm just comping, with in jazz, if I'm just like, yeah,
And you want that muted, sort of muted.
Well, that
Yeah.
specifically, you're like trying to strum with as much
flesh, just all flesh.
Old school jazz.
Yeah.
The other time I also see you use your thumbnail to strum is like if you're doing an exaggeration, kind of like a down.
Yeah.
So very, selected situations, I would use my thumb. So if I need more volume, if it's gonna, or if it's like a roll, then that's when the thumb goes.
Is there a song example where you purposefully use that exaggerated up strum with your thumb?
Like a lot of picking songs, a lot of like instrumentals and stuff. But I would also kind of like, if I'm doing triplets also use the thumb with, like strumming with the thumb. So I do like that triplet, yeah.
Yeah.
that also uses the thumb. So there are some like thumb, but primarily it's with the pointer finger. So if I like, while my guitar gently weeps, you know, one of those like, so how's it go? It's like one that you would do like kind of a like this exaggerated kind of strum, or if I'm just playing normal, like the roll for me, I like an exaggerated roll. I always use the thumb to roll up.
Yeah.
Do
Well, because
you
like I'm
use that
thinking like Pure Heart's version of Olinda Road has that.
Oh yeah.
You know, but like what song do you use that for?
Sometimes when I'm, you know, when a lot of slow songs,
Yeah.
you know, that I would do that. I do that in Europa. So
Oh yeah, I guess sometimes.
Because it's just like a kind of like it adds a different flavor from just like you strumming down, right? Like, because it's basically you're like spelling out the chord anyway.
yeah, you're spelling the chord like high to low.
Yeah, in reverse.
So.
Yeah.
But then what's cool about the ukulele, especially re-entrant, so it is a high and low, but with a high at the top. So when you do something like that's got that like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. And it does sound different from like if you try to do that same thing with your pointer finger, right? Like. I mean, you can really.
What does Jake do the Sakura? What's that chord? I think that's the chord, right? Oh. I forgot that song already.
I was going to ask you.
Definitely don't do that when piece is on.
Yeah, I'm just saying. This is an example, you know.
Do you use the same triplet technique when you're playing the triplets at the end of While My Guitar Gently Weeps?
The
Yeah.
no, well that's when I do the what you call it? The business card one, because I need more volume on that up strum. So the no, but not this, not that triple strum. So that triple strum is more for like if you're doing like a when you're doing that kind of song, very like Tin Pan Alley-ish. Yeah. You know? But I do it sometimes, like in just like normal songs when I feel like it.
Yeah,
it's in my tool belt. You know?
Add an accent.
I like
more
this
emphasis.
hammer. Why don't I use this hammer?
That was like the same thing too. In While My Guitar Gently Weeps, you're like strumming over that sweet spot, but every once in a while you went back and you kind of strum closer to the bridge, and it's just adding like a accent or adding like just a different tone, right? So it's that when we tell you guys, not to do that kind of stuff. It's like general stuff, but it like when you get better at it, you can just use it for tone or flavor or trying different things too.
Okay. Answering five. Do we have any answering fives?
Yeah, we have one.
Go, Mike. Mike, answering five, buddy.
Both.
Okay. When is an A minor 7 correctly called a C6?
Very good question. Answering five.
It depends on the key.
Okay.
And
what key would that make sense in?
In what key?
C6.
Well, weirdly enough, because it's a C6. Well, so C6 not being a root style chord, then in the key of C you would think of it as an A minor.
Yeah.
Key of G.
Something like that. That would
just a
so
key that doesn't have an A minor in it, but it does have a C.
Yes.
No, well, G has an A minor in it. But
that's why. So in the key of G, it still would be an A minor 7.
No, but it depends on context.
If you're using it.
It's context.
If you're
because
using
then,
it
now,
as an
because
A
here's what
minor.
we're thinking about now. You're talking about an A minor, which is a triadic chord, versus a C6, which is a 4-note chord.
Oh.
So how are we?
Yeah.
It for me it wouldn't depend on the bass note, like the root note.
Bass note would also have a lot to
Yeah.
do with it. It's just that if you put a C6 and you're saying it's in the key of C, you're saying the C6 is your root chord,
Yeah.
which is not quite so common.
Yeah.
I think,
That's what I thought.
Me and Aaron were talking about like chord names and stuff, and I was saying that I think what's most important with the chord name is like what it functions as, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think first and foremost, because we also talk about the bass note going based off of that, but sometimes that's not always the case, right?
No.
It's like the bass note, but then it functions as a different type of chord.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Especially if you're playing ukulele on its own, right? It is whatever you
Yeah.
want it to be.
It could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
what
in the
comes before
context
it,
of
what
a
comes
band,
after it,
Yeah,
that makes a big.
But
Yeah.
if Mike is playing with you, it depends on what he plays.
Yeah,
That's
whatever
his
Mike is
bass,
playing.
then Mike will decide. That's when an A minor 7 is a C6.
Yep.
Mike will decide.
okay.
Well, if you think it could be that, I could just make it an F chord too. For all
Because-
you can't stop me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, next. We haven't answered 5.
Yes.
Okay.
Young lady asked, how did you decide on your signature caps? So,
Oh, I guess we both have his signature cards.
I guess so.
Okay. You have yours?
Yeah, my friend Amen had one.
Wait, my friend Alman had
My friend Amen had one.
Alman. Oh, okay.
Amen Mahal.
Okay. So it's, is a name too? Because that was
you can't just say the
Yeah.
first name or.
Oh, I
say-
guess so.
Yeah. Like,
okay.
I just did.
Go.
Yeah.
Oh, I watched Crossroads with Ralph. That's why.
Oh my
So
gosh.
what that means? I watched Crossroads, the movie Crossroads, Ralph Macchio. He was in the pawn shop, like looking for a new guitar. He got the Telecaster, he got a pig nose amp. And then he's like, oh, check out this hat. Doesn't this hat make me look like a Mississippi blues man? It's a Mississippi blues hat. And I'm like, oh man, maybe I can look like a Mississippi blues player with that hat. So I wore it. And bonus answer in 5 is some girls found it cute.
That's all you needed.
Yeah, exactly.
All the
So
encouragement that you needed.
I remember being at Hat Zone in Kukui Grove. Remember when Hat Zone was still there? Mm-hmm. I was with some girls from college. We were walking around the mall and stuff, and we were at Hat Zone. I used to wear these visors. I used to wear visors. That was like my signature hat back in the day.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And then these two girls that I was with, they're like, oh, why don't you try that hat? I was like, I've actually been thinking about that hat because Crossroads. Right? So they're like, oh, try it on. I was like, oh, and I put it on. They're like, oh, it looks cute on you. I'm like,
Cha-ching.
I guess it does.
It's like what is it,
yeah.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? I'm cute. Flying into the sky.
Yeah, some girls found it cute. So I was just like, hey, okay, all right.
if it works for Ralph, it works for me too.
Yeah.
I'll give you a practical 5.
Okay.
It shades my eyes from sun.
I'm on. Nice.
Oh, we were just before the podcast. We were talking about that's actually a new hat, right, Mike?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and
I've had the same
many
model
weeks?
of hat, just 3 or 4, I think.
Oh yeah, because you have like a wool Kangol one.
No,
And
this
then
is
now-
it's literally the same one. Same. I've had the same
It just
model
looked
of
like
hat.
wool because
He's
it's
a
so
creature
old.
of habit.
Yeah, except for the first one. The first one I
Yeah.
ever had, I don't even know what brand it is. And I can't, and I still have it, but it's so worn out, I can't tell you what it was. It wasn't a Kangol.
Okay, aside from the my original brown, it was like a tan brown one. Was the original one that I bought from Hat Zone, and it was like a Hat Zone brand because it was just like their blanks,
Yeah.
I wore that, and I remember the origin of it. I bought it the day of, and then that night we had a a New Year's stream for Ukulele Underground when Ukulele Underground was about to launch. The launch of UU was the debut of the of the Trilby. So I wore that on that stream, and I remember like what do you guys think about this? About this hat? This is me now. Bob's Burgers terms. This is me now. Yeah, that was the first one, and I had like one that was kind of Quicksilver. But other than that, I've always worn, if people were interested, Brixton Trilbies. So Brixton makes like really great structured trilbies that I've been using throughout the years. So whenever you see me wearing one of these, it's usually a Brixton brand hat.
Or made
by Brixton, yeah.
Used to make. They don't
so.
make trilbies anymore.
Yeah,
right?
I guess so. Yeah. So the one that I wear now, so this is my old one, and I think they still have one, but I'm not too big of a fan of the color, and I think the trilbies that they make now too are like longer, kind of like the brim. Anyway, I use an actual fedora on stage now, and that fedora that I have is the one with the feathers on, with the what is it, lei hulu they call it, the lei hulu on. So that's what I've been using lately. I got that as a present, as a birthday present from my wife, and I've been using that on like special occasions. So some people have seen it like at LA Uke Fest. I wore it to Korea. I only wear that in special situations. Because I'm scared of the feathers like
flying
getting
off,
damaged.
yeah.
Not just getting damaged. I'm not like, I think it's structurally good, but yeah, I just don't want them getting damaged. That's all. 'Cause the feathers are real. Those are like real like pheasant feathers that a student of mine actually made for me. Yeah, Carlin. Shout out to Carlin. She has a documentary on YouTube. I wish I had the link and stuff to give you guys, but she has a documentary that she put on YouTube of how she makes the lei hulus. It's pretty amazing. Like I think it takes like hundreds of feathers.
Oh yeah.
Of the same
probably.
size and
Yeah.
color. Maybe 1,000.
Thousands, yeah.
Yeah,
maybe.
it's insane. Like those
Well, they
are
would
not
say
cheap.
that like if you go to the museum, you see like the ancient the
Cape.
bird feather
the
capes.
dude. Those are thousands. Yeah,
Thousands
tens of thousands. Yeah.
and thousands.
So, and those things are not cheap. Like my student made one for me. I mean, in exchange of like just like mentorship, and I'm giving her private lessons and stuff. But for the most part, like how much do those run? Do you know?
What, those
Like
feather
lei
things?
hulus, yeah.
Oh, if you were to buy one from somebody,
Yeah, easy $5,000-$10,000.
it'd be thousands.
Yeah.
You
So
know?
it's not cheap.
Yeah, that is definitely an old school.
Sorry, I keep forgetting about this button.
That'd be an old school, what they call like bespoke sort of
Yeah.
thing. Like someone's gonna make this
Yeah.
specifically for you and everything.
It's supposed to be like special and for like somebody who is, if you're getting one made for somebody, it should be
Yeah.
for somebody special.
And that's crazy because you got to find the right color, the right size,
and then you got to find thousands. Of
Yeah,
them.
it's insane. It's like I love that thing, and it's an heirloom. Every time you get one of those, it's definitely an heirloom.
Absolutely.
So try to take care of it as best as I can.
This is
And,
the same person from Saturday, right?
Yeah, she won. She won the ukulele. Yeah,
I like-
Did you see hers? She also has like a bunch of them. Like she wears a different hat with a different lei hulu like every
Yeah.
week, which is insane.
Didn't Mason say that it's like him and Elle are wearing like what is it, flannel? They started
Yeah.
wearing flannel. Do you think Elle is gonna pick up the trilby too?
I don't know. She wore the flannel just because. I think it wasn't because of me. I think it was like some other kids like were wearing them in school, and she just wanted to be cool too. I'm like, hey, look at me. She's like, yeah, that's great, Dad.
As soon as you put yours on, it's like, this is no longer cool. I don't want to wear this anymore.
Another answer in 5.
Well, I think that was it. Yeah,
That was it?
Pretty much it. Yeah.
Do you have an answer in 5 for me, and I have one for you?
Oh.
You wanna do one for each other? I don't want to ask because I want you to think of one because I already have one. Because if I ask mine, and you're gonna be thinking about the answer.
Okay. No, I have.
Okay.
It's very random. Why do you like the One Piece card game so much?
It's my escape from reality.
Okay.
Okay, for you.
Okay.
Answer in 5.
Okay.
How was Kahai as a student?
Oh my gosh. Thanks for watching, everybody. Yeah.
I immediately thought of one, but it's actually really mean and not serious. And not serious.
Or as long as it's like family friendly.
Yes, it's family friendly.
Yeah,
but the first thing I thought of was his sister was way better.
That's not wrong. That's true.
See, I'm like,
but that's also not
comment. It's kind of on par with the show.
But that's also not really true.
No, that is totally true. My
No.
sister is way better at trumpet than I ever was. So it's like,
Yeah, but
I don't care.
But that's not what I'm thinking.
So what is your answer in 5 for how is Kahai as a student? Riveting.
I think he really tried.
I think he really tried. Oh.
Yeah, I like that. Like, I think, because I think most people thought that too. Like, I think he tried really hard.
But he actually didn't.
Depends.
But hey.
The trumpet, maybe not as much as the guitar. Once he started playing guitar with us, he was way more.
okay.
He
Yeah.
was way more.
Well, thank you, Mike. It's your day off today, and you decided to come to kind of work, today, and answer questions. How about a round of applause to our guest, Mike
Hey, guys.
Odo? It's Veterans Day.
The real one.
The real Mike Odo.
Well, the real Mike Odo, please stand up.
You wanna promote anything? You know,
Come see me at Scotty's.
Scotty's
I've got
where?
ukuleles.
what's
They're
the
good.
address? Do you know the address? of Scotty's?
Absolutely
Across from Walmart.
Across from Walmart.
Lihue, Kauai.
So I have the Kauai address. Come to Walmart and you'll find us.
Like across the street. So stand at the entrance of Walmart
And look straight across.
across the street. You'll see Scotty.
Yeah.
See a gigantic guitar, right? A flying V.
Hey, there it is. And I
Ford.
still can't read that from here.
Located in Lihue, Kauai, at 3-3319 Kuhio Highway. Directly across the street from Walmart.
And it literally says
Still
that
gotta say
on
it.
our
Actually says that.
website.
Lihue. Anything else? SpongeBob?
Yes, we are opening SpongeBob SquarePants the musical next week.
Yeah, on Kauai. So if you're
yep.
visiting,
Yep.
come see
If
Mike.
you
It's
come see
SpongeBob
us.
the musical.
Yes, there is ukulele in it.
Oh, nice.
Both being played on stage by our actor who is playing SpongeBob, but mostly by ukulele own shadow strum, Kyle Ferruccio.
Kyle
Kyle
Ferruccio is
Ferruccio.
playing the ukulele. Nice. So, is he playing fun? Is it a fun song?
Oh, no, there's all new songs.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, they don't use any aside from the SpongeBob SquarePants theme song,
Yeah, okay.
which even though we don't play that like the TV show.
You know, Camille has a SpongeBob song. It's awesome.
Oh, I forgot.
You gotta ask him first.
Okay.
So next time, like when you go to Johnny's next,
Yeah.
say like play the SpongeBob song,
gosh.
and then Camille will play the SpongeBob song.
Is it family
It's sick,
friendly?
sick, love it.
Okay.
It's like not a funny. I guess it's funny in the context of it's SpongeBob, but it's actually like a legit sounding song. It's written by Reef.
Oh,
Reef
okay.
wrote it, but then like Camille sings it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a Broadway musical, so they wrote
Yeah.
all new stuff,
Nice.
and even the SpongeBob main theme is actually played pop punk style.
Oh, nice.
So it sounds more like
And
fast Fallout Boy.
and Kyle's playing that on uke. Like he's playing.
Well, he's playing
guitar?
ukulele and electric and acoustic guitar. He's got to
nice.
switch between all three.
nice. Yeah.
So
Nice.
it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Nice,
Doing our boy is doing us proud.
He's growing up so fast. our boy is growing up so fast. Now he's playing musicals. He's playing multiple instruments. He's playing at Rob's on some nights.
know.
You know, like he has an 8 to 10 spot, dude.
He's playing
That's
Masese.
primo.
I've seen that.
I saw that on Instagram while little boy's growing up.
BJ was singing Masese at him the whole night at rehearsal
Really?
yesterday, just to poke at him.
Tobacco.
And I kept telling him, dude, shut up. Because my kids played that all last year. And this year, my band kids all asked, can we play Masese again? I'm like, no. No, you can't.
No, my mental health
No.
cannot survive.
I need a year off from that
Another year.
I need a year off from that song.
Why? What's
Isn't-
wrong with that song, Mike?
From them playing that song.
It was them playing it to us going to because that was one of the songs, that and Tahiti Tahiti were songs we played for the Rose Bowl.
That's Yeah, that's the curse of band, right? Is you play songs so much that at the end of it, it's like, I'm sick of this song. Get it out of here.
Stop, please.
Okay, well, thank you, Mike. Thanks for being here.
Hey,
Thanks for
no
being
problem,
here.
guys.
Go
Nice
visit
to be
them over
here.
at Scotty's. Go visit us on our website, ukuleleunderground.com, for all your ukulele needs, ukuleleunderground.com. Learn a song. Learn 100 songs. Learn 1,000 songs, maybe, from the forum. Go check out ukuleleunderground.com and also forum.ukuleleunderground.com if you want to meet a friend, talk to other like-minded ukulele enthusiasts such as yourself. If you want to buy some merch, head over to shop.ukuleleunderground.com. So we have ukuleleunderground.com, we have forum.ukuleleunderground.com, we have shop.ukuleleunderground.com. That is all you need in life, apparently. Right, Kai? Mm-hmm. Should we have something else? OnePieceCardGame.ukuleleunderground.com, you know?
I think we should also say thank you to the veterans, right?
Yes. Thanks.
Absolutely.
To all the vets. Thank you for all your service. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Once again, I am here. He is here. They are here because of you fine folks. Thank you so much. I'm proud to be an American, or at least I know I'm free. I'm thankful for the men who died,
Who gave
that right to me,
and
I'll gladly stand up
next to you.
next to you. I'll see you folks next time, girl. We love you. Aloha.
Also, next week, are we going to do the songwriting challenge?
Yeah, songwriting challenge next
Yeah.
week. Sorry, we had a guest this week, so we're going to postpone the songwriting
Chris
challenge.
was
to
asking.
next week. Next
Our-
songwriting challenge.
We're gonna play our songs, but then also everybody else's songs are due next week, and
next
then we'll pick a winner.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
Perfect
More
timing.
details on Friday. Bye. Aloha. Love you. Bye.